Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are, and welcome. Welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. Oh my goodness, I've been away for a while and I've missed you terribly. I'm having some issues with my light, but don't worry, that does nothing stops the show. It's always a pleasure to spend time and space with you. And every Wednesday night, I bring you a featured guest speaker. My name is Joy Ruffin, and I work as a style and leadership consultant, a signature style specialist, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. It's all connected, it's all aligned. And every Wednesday night, I bring you a featured guest speaker, a leading lady who shares her journey and her story with you. And I could go on and on and on, but before I do that, help me to welcome our featured guest speaker tonight, Vince Abramo. Vince,
Aloha.
what a pleasure. Oh, aloha. I
Aloha.
love that. Aloha. I love that. It's great to have you here. As I said earlier, my lighting is not great, but yours is superb. So let's not let anything deter us from what we have to do here tonight. And that is for you to share with us your story. Tell us a little bit about how you started to do the wonderful work that you're doing here and now.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Joy, for having me and having me on your podcast and introducing me to your wonderful audience. So, I started in conflict resolution as a fluke, actually. I was going through my 360 evaluation with Center for Creative Leadership. And through the nonprofit that I was helping out with, I had 300 volunteers with me. And I thought I was a great leader and I was a great communicator. And then when I did my 360, I discovered I was not. A lot of the other directors felt like they weren't getting a lot of the knowledge or the information that they needed to help out with the volunteers in their programs. And so that began my journey. I got to have a wonderful coach for a whole year from American Express. And that coach led me to get my master's in public administration and my certification in conflict resolution.
Vince, I tell you, every Wednesday night when I bring a leading lady on here, I fall in love, and I fall in love quickly, especially with integrity, honor, and loyalty. And what you just described to us and how you described it to us, how you came to conflict resolution, the 360 turn, and how you discovered you weren't as you thought you were. That is so powerful. It really is. And conflict resolution, we all need it. We all need it. So you started, you just went ahead, got your master's, and went from there. What are some of the, and I know they're myriad of them, but what are some of
Mhm.
the main issues that you find with the people that you work with when it comes to conflict resolution? We all need it. Yes.
A lot of it is the different personalities, the different conflict modes that come into play. So there may be a shark, a person who's very aggressive, and that there may be a turtle who avoids conflict altogether, or the accommodator, the teddy bear, who wants to smooth everything over. So there's 5 different types of conflict mode styles, and they all come into play, or they either run away from all conflict, and it's our amygdala, our brain, that's firing right now, that's saying, like, I don't want to be engaged in this, it's going to hurt me. Well, the whole thing is we need to be involved with conflict. We need to have that conversation so we have that voice in the room.
You know what, Vince? The way you started us off warms my heart more than words can say, because what you just shared with us, all the different personalities and the way that we have to converse with people and connect with people, the personalities, the turtle, the teddy bear, and all of those other personalities that you mentioned, our assignment, each and every one of us, no matter what our innate energies might be, is to connect and align with the people that we're working with. That's why conflict resolution is so important, because most of us, myself included, you think that everybody has to connect and relate when you start out with what your energies are all about. But no, 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 no. Not if you want to build a business and connect and get to know people. How do you find, what are some of the ways that you find to create peace and to get the people to merge, mingle, and meld together in a way that's prosperous for the company, for everyone? What are some of those techniques?
A lot of times, employees and staff people, they don't have that ability to really share what they are thinking, and that comes into play with uh, what is called psychological safety. And it's a study by Amy Edmondson after Google has done their collection of data of their employees. And what she
Hmm.
found that they didn't feel like they could speak up, they didn't feel like their ideas are heard, or they can't implement anything. So having the employee's voice, coaching them along, at least they get that voice heard from a coach, and that I can share that with their supervisors or the owner of the company. And that I take it to them and in a way to really soften it. And then I am pretty matter of fact with some of these owners and supervisors. I'm like,
Good.
this is a come to Jesus moment right now. You can't keep yelling at your employees. So let's see how we can figure out how to approach these employees better.
I love that because everyone has a voice, and everyone, most everyone, I've not met anyone to date, wants to be heard, seen, and valued. But when it comes to the conflict mode and working with the people in a group, community, a team, you have to be more in alignment with the people that you're connecting with. So, how do you support people in finding strengths in their conflict mode, whatever that is? How do you support them to amp up whatever they need so that they're more in alignment of connecting in a way that's helpful to others and themselves?
Sure. And those strengths are so important, right? The
Yes.
turtle needs to be quiet. Like there needs to be someone in the room that absorbs everything. And then there needs to be the shark in the room that needs to tell people, okay, this is what it is because we want to get this contract or whatever. But dialing it back too is important so that turtle gets to speak up and the shark actually gets to listen. So I have everyone recognize different personalities. I do the 16 personalities. I'm doing the strength training course as well. And then for each other to recognize even their love languages is very important. How do they want to be appreciated? How do they want to carry out? How do they communicate with each other? Is it better through text, through email? What is it in your company that's better to communicate with that other person?
I love this. I love this because we all need to learn this skill at our level. Because if you're in business and you're in leadership, you really need to know how to make everyone a part of your team, your group, your circle feel valued. And you
Yes.
mentioned something there, Vince, which we'll get to a little bit more in depth a little bit later. But listening skills are just as important as, right? And
Yes.
whether you're a turtle or a shark or a teddy bear, you ought to be cognizant of the other person's personality and style and relate to them accordingly. I
Yes.
find that interesting.
Hmm.
How do you
Yes.
get the two diverse personalities to merge and connect with one another? What's the key and secret there? I know it's different all the time, but there are some
Yes.
underlying keys, I'm sure.
And we're not used to it, right? We didn't grow up with it. We didn't get education on it, and it's
Right.
bizarre. Anyway, it's facilitating that meeting and seeing how they are comfortable with it. I do correct it from time to time. I do group coaching, and then they find their own styles of communication and they find where it's comfortable for them and they feel safer. The turtles feel safer speaking up and they feel like, okay, I have a voice. And then the sharks are like, okay, at this time I think I really need to see what Vince is saying. Like I need to listen right now, use my active listening skills. So when they're merging, appreciating each part of it, really validating each person and their voice, and recognizing that, hey, they need to have that moment of speaking up, of sharing their ideas or sharing their feelings.
That's so paramount for all of us in different ways because as much as we all want to be seen, heard, and valued, we also want to feel, because a lot of it comes from all of that innate, inbred, however it began and started. We're not psychologists here. Insecurities. You want to feel safe. And you don't want to be poo pooed if it's not the right or what was meant to be delivered at that time. So all of these variables come into play, and it's not easy. But you know what I like you that you said, Vince, when we started off? You said you don't tap dance around. You come straight out and share because you probably have insights into the innate character and personality of the person that's there, and then finding a way. Let's just say I'm a shark. How do you
Mm-hmm.
allow me or tell me or let me know that as much as I'm high powered and high energy, that sometimes around others, I need to calm down and take it a little bit slower? How do you converse with me in that way? I mean, I know
I
every
would,
personality
yeah,
is different.
sure. I would say, hey, let's take a step back right now. I think
Yes,
Mary is not feeling comfortable at this moment. Let's recognize her and let's have her share what her ideas are.
I love
Yeah.
that, because this is what happens with most of us when we don't tune in to knowing ourselves, and we're not in sync somewhat with who we are at our core. We're not able to tune in and listen to the other person. And
Yeah.
when you're in a group community, corporate or entrepreneurial environment, you need to be able to listen. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Yes.
The work that you're doing is needed. Now, are you working with companies? I know, but I want you to tell the audience, predominantly, or individuals, or a combination of corporate, entrepreneurial, small businesses. Tell us how you'd go about that.
Well, people seem to find me wherever I am, either in Thumbtack, my website. I think I have a video out there that's been gone to India and back. But I love to work with companies, small size to medium size. And then I
Uh-huh.
also love to work with individuals. So I've worked with people from Oracle, Microsoft, um, large accounting companies. It doesn't matter. And I love to work with the groups because then
Yes.
you get to figure out, like, hey, this person is saying this. Let's come together. Let's not gossip anymore. Let's talk about it out in the open.
Mhm.
And then I love to work with the individuals so they feel empowered when they're in a meeting with supervisors that are the sharks or are the turtles, which is surprising too.
Yes. Of all of the different personalities, and you mentioned when we started out some of all the different things that you're working with, what what have you found to be the most difficult personality to work with? That, not that it's the most difficult, but it presents more of a concern for you to connect with them so that they can hear what you need to relay to them.
Ah, okay. That's a very, very good question. And I,
I was,
very, very good question. And I think it's not the personality. I think it's when it is someone with mental health issues.
Mm.
And we were taught in conflict resolution not to broach that. But guess what? I was in family court. I helped with mediation in family court. Everybody has mental health issues. Everybody. So
Yes.
the yes, and the fact is, I got into brain health and I got into the background of like depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, and that's when I'm like, hey, you know what? I need to take that step back. I had to learn more about that. What's going on with their brain right now, and am I meeting this person where they are?
Ah, one of the I have had every type of mentor and coach that you could name, and I have to say, all of them gave different sage counseling to me. But the best
Mm,
advice that I was given, Vince, and I know you agree with this, I don't even have to ask if you do, said that the best thing you can do when you're meeting and connecting with people initially, especially, is meet them
mhm.
where they are.
Yes.
Meet them where they are. Now,
Hmm.
that's simplistic and sounds good, but I know, and maybe a lot of people know, but what does that really mean? How do you express that in words? Meet them where they are.
And utilizing those active listening skills, right?
Ah,
Summarizing, mirroring, validating what they've said. Those are
yes,
very important skills.
yes.
Saying, hey, are you accepting what I'm saying right now? Are you open to it? Maybe this isn't the right time for me to talk to you or talk with you. Maybe we can schedule a later time, whatever, what would be comfortable for you so you feel safe.
Ah, Vince, Vince. You're speaking my DNA. And you know what they said to me further? Said that the best thing that you can do is ask back when you're speaking, what did you hear me say? How did
Hmm.
you receive what I said? And then you can begin to build a relationship. Oh, this is yummy. This is really good. I'm going to take a quick little break now, and I'm going to
Sure.
say hello to the audience and ask them to join my group, and I'll be back with you in a second. Be comfortable and get ready, because when I come back, I want to talk a lot about active listening, which is a
Yes,
skill. It's a skill that one has to develop. And thank you,
it
thank you,
is.
thank you. Don't you love what she's sharing with us? Don't we all need it? I wish my screen were a bit brighter, but don't worry, it will be. Let me share with you this. Vince is sharing with us because no matter what your business might be, what type of business you're in, conflict resolution at some point in time we all deal with. And knowing the different personas and personalities, it matters. So whatever you do, make sure you connect with her. I have a masterclass coming up on March the 16th. I didn't give my engineer here a link, but I will be putting that up going forward, and it will be everywhere. But in the meantime, I do have a link for my Facebook group, Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies, because you and you gents, if you're out there, you belong there with your girl, your lady, your significant one. So go and join the group, because we have a lot going on, and we're meeting and connecting with each other, collaborating, sharing, and all of that good stuff. So make sure that you join us there. And then every Monday, I have a joyful Facebook Live, Meet with Joy, on Mondays at 3. And I won't overload you with anything else. Just remember the date, March the 16th, and going forward, I will have that running through every Wednesday up until that time going forward. I wasn't able to get the link to give to Kirill tonight, but we'll have it going forward. And whatever you do, join us for that workshop, the masterclass. It will be fantastic. Now, I want to come back to our featured guest speaker, Vince. I want to speak to something that's really major. You mentioned it before. It's developing our listening skills. What tips and tools, what is effective listening skills? And what can you share with us that will benefit each and every one of us to get better and better and better? I could use it.
Yes, we all could use it. And I need to relearn it each time. So
Yes.
active listening skills, the first one is to encourage the person to keep speaking, to keep talking, and just be really interested in what they have to say. And it's we call it the removing of the mind. So we actually have to stop what's going in our brain to really listen to the person. Second
I
one is
haven't heard,
clarifying. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before. I like that. Say that again.
Removing all your thoughts in your brain to really listen to the other person.
Removing all the thoughts in your brain. Okay, I thought you said it somewhere. That's okay. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
needed. If you have a
Yes.
busy, active brain. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're always seem to be ready with an answer, with an response, right? We were going to respond right away. But active listening, you have to be in that moment and be present.
Yes. Oh, my. Encourage, be interested, tuned in, present. Because
Hmm.
with technology today, Vince, we're all like constantly on the phones, and we're doing this and we're doing that and we're listening, but we're really not present. And
Yes.
that we're all, most of us, it's never all, guilty of at some point in time. So those are three good keys. And that's what you,
Hmm.
because doesn't everybody want to feel that you're really listening to them and you're tuning into what they're saying? Don't we all want that? Yes.
Yes. I would hope everyone would want that.
I like the way you verbalize that. That, as my momsy would say, that would be the prayer. Yes, you would hope
Yes.
so. But active listening is really important, because you want to encourage the person, especially if they happen to be a teddy bear. I love your language here. You want to encourage them to speak up, and you also want to make sure that you are totally interested and present when they do, so that they really feel that you're interested and you want
Yes.
them to speak their voice. Yeah.
Hmm. And you want
When
to have clarification when people, you want to clarify what you're listening to and say, hey, I want to make sure that this is clear. Is this right?
I love the word fair. I love that word
Hmm.
fair, because see, for all of us who are in leadership and we really care about humanity and getting to know ourselves, it's all about truth, love, beauty, integrity. They're all intertwined and mixed
Hmm.
together. You gave me something that I wanted to ask you about, because I didn't really get it, and I want to get it because I'm that perennial ongoing student. You said something about expand the outcome to the resolution.
Yes.
Now, I like, in my fashion, how things ring together and rhyme together. And I read that over a couple of times. I'm saying, I think I know what she means, but I want to hear from you. What does that mean? Expand the outcome to the resolution. Yes.
So we are all creative by nature, right? Hopefully we
Mm.
are. And that
Hmm.
when we tend to think about our position, we don't think about the interest. Like, what is the ultimate interest in an argument? So when we talk about expanding the pie or expanding the possibilities or the outcome, we're talking about, are there other things that we never thought about? Maybe we need to bring in someone else. Maybe we need to research and take that step back to really think about it. Take that creative side to really find that resolution that both parties can be at a win-win.
Whoa. Oh my, oh my, oh my. There's so many different ways to express and to communicate almost anything. And the way that you explain that, I would say the same in different verbs would be the same underlying meaning, because you started off by saying most of us are so kind of caught up in our position, our standing, our knowing. But when you're in leadership and you're working with other people, you really need to be cognizant and very much in sync and in tune with what their position is. And then how do you merge, mingle, and marry them together? That's what's
Mm-hmm,
important, because that way you will have a way to expand whatever that solution might be, the
mm-hmm.
resolution, the outcome. That's very potent. That's very
Yes.
potent. Do you find with the work that you're doing that, oh, this is loaded, Vince. Oh my goodness, I'm getting excited here.
Great
Because
questions, Joy.
do you find when it comes to conflict resolution, that it's more men or women who need it most?
I am not gonna say a gender because everyone needs it. And it
Ah,
yeah, and the tendency is everyone thinks that women are turtles and men are the sharks. By the way, there's two other conflict modes.
oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but it's again the active listening and the ability to speak up.
Ah. Well, I asked you that question because, and it was a loaded question, and I loved your
Hmm.
reply to it. That
Sure.
shows me what a diplomat you are. And I don't really work to be politically correct anymore. I don't give a hoot. But I always, because my work is predominantly with women, and I have found for myself, starting with me, that emotional security, emotional intelligence, and emotional healing was so needed,
Mm-hmm.
because the emotions get in the way, and that's where a lot of
Mm-hmm.
conflict comes about. So that's why I ask you that question. I speak from my own journey. My own emotional development has been
Mm-hmm.
and continues to be a journey. And I'm sure, and I loved your reply. I really did, because today we're moving in that direction. Women are stepping up to the plate in their full power, especially when they get to know who we are and what we're about. So,
Mm-hmm.
the time flies here and it just goes by so quickly, and there's so much to talk about. And I don't know how to end this except to say to you, you mentioned to me when we started out about disabilities and the experience that you had. And I
Mm-hmm.
know from your sharing with me what yours is, and yet not at all. So, how do you find that people respond to you today overall because of your disability?
Mm. So I there's a lot of different experiences. That's a great question too, Joy. And my disability, maybe some people may have microaggression, and I
Yes,
think
that's
it's improving every decade or so that people are more accepting of people
yes,
with disabilities. I lost a leg since birth, and people, they don't know, they're not aware that they are putting up these microaggressions or saying things that may be hurtful or may also hold me back from my full potential. And
yes.
in the community, I am not like a mascot or anything or an advocate or anything like that, but
Mhm.
I will defend people who have disabilities, right? And I feel that again their voices need to be heard, and that they have so much to contribute that, wow, if the 25% in the world, people who have disabilities or diagnosed disabilities, if people honor their ability to contribute, oh my gosh, this world would change so much.
Thank you so much for responding to that. It was one that I hesitated to ask, but I asked you for a particular reason because it's just in the past year that my husband has gone completely blind, and it's
Hmm.
really very, very difficult for him. So he is at another stage than where you are, but everything that
Hmm.
you shared about any type of disability needs to be heard. And I love the word that you use, micro boom boom, because people need to be more aware of that. You know, the time flies here, Vince. You must come back again because
Yes.
you have so much to share with us. And I want you to just deliver to us what parting words, what anything you have coming up that you want to invite people to or to connect with you. Kirill has been running across all of your data and all of your information. So the prayer is that people will connect, but anything at all that you'd like to leave us with, the stage is yours.
Sure. I have the next free class that's coming up called Finding the Right Words to Say on Monday, February 13th. And that's a free class and that's online. And finding those right words to say to that difficult person in your life or in your workspace. And also, I please connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Bamboo Shoot High on most platforms, Bamboo Shoot on Facebook. And if you would like, I can also send you a newsletter, and that's free information about communication.
Vince, you are a leading lady. There's no question about it. You shared so much really absolutely beyond powerful information with us. I'm honored that I'm in your camp, your circle, and your tribe. I'm going to put you in the green room. I'll say so long for now. I'll be with you in just a second. Oh, what can I say? The information that she shared is priceless. And finding the right words, don't we all need that? Yes, we do. So, whatever you do, make sure you connect with her. It's always a pleasure to be back and spend time and space with you. I can't wait to see you again next week. It's always exciting for me. Don't you know that by now? I leave you tonight, as I do each and every time, with much, much love. From my heart to your heart, only the very, very best. Be well and take care. Cheers.